Hi there, my name is Abel Regalado. I'm a full stack software engineer, and I love playing around and experimenting with new technologies. And I'm also very passionate about creating solutions that enable me and the people around me. And most recently, I noticed my mom coming across a problem that could easily be solved with software. So for the past 5 years, my mom has had a small party and event rental business in which she tracks down every order on a notepad or a random piece of paper. And more often than not, she finds herself scrambling at the last minute to remind herself of an order she missed, and calling customers to confirm every detail, and just scrambling together to get that order in a timely fashion. So what I've done is I've built Event Plus Plus, and Event Plus Plus is a platform where my mom will be able to create orders through a standardized process and keep track of upcoming orders. Additionally, she has the option to filter out delivered, picked up orders and remind herself, the clients, and the drivers with necessary information about each order. So I've built the platform using React, and more specifically React hooks, which is one of the latest alpha version features of React. And on the backend, I'm using Node and Express for the API. And in addition to that, I've hooked up a Mongo database to keep track of clients and their respective orders. And I am using a few Twilio APIs to perform the business logic of sending messages and confirming phone numbers. So let's dive right in. So here, this is the front landing page, which still needs a login page for admin users. And to dive right in, I have either the option to start writing an order by typing in a number, or I could view the upcoming orders. So we could start by upcoming orders. And let's say we want to filter out by events that start from a certain date. And we just select the date and the number of weeks, and we're able to see all of the events spanning from the start date to the number of weeks addition. And we could filter by delivered and picked up orders. So if we click picked up orders, we'll get an alert saying that in order for an order to be picked up, it should also be delivered. So right here, we're filtering out delivered orders, and now we'll filter only picked up orders. And let's say we want to remind the driver of an existing order. For any given order, we could remind the driver to deliver this to Angel. So remind driver. And on my cell phone, I've set it up so that I get the order for a new order as the driver. So the drivers will get the orders so they could pack the vehicles and deliver the orders respectively. And let's say we want to make an order. So the first thing my mom asks is a cell phone number. So we could go on ahead. So 510-343-4996. So that's an existing customer. So we could go ahead and choose the delivery and pickup date. So we could deliver Friday, pick up Sunday. So we could deliver around 9 p.m. and pick up early around 11 a.m. So once we get that, we set the event details. So let's say 3 tables, 4 chairs. We could skip a canopy. Maybe they want a jumper, like a bounce house. So these are some of the typical informations that my mom asked, and as the time goes by, they may expand to more products. So that's why I chose a Mongo database, because each order might have the possibility of expanding or decreasing in size based on customer options. So who's the person of contact? So let's say Angel. Angel 2. Notes, third floor. Order location, 1201 12th Street. My former high school address. And this person owes $50. So once we confirm everything's correct in the summary, we go ahead and send summary. And as we can see, Angel 2 is down here. And as soon as we hit confirm, we send a message using the Twilio messaging API, and that is sent to the customer. As you can see, hi Angel, you ordered blah, blah, blah products. Your order will be delivered at this address around this day and picked up around this other day. Your remaining balance is $50. So that is using the Twilio API to send the messages and to remind drivers. And essentially that's it on the front end. And if it's a new number, let's say 2345656, we just go on ahead and create a new client and give them an address. And we go on and start the order process again. As I mentioned, we are using React hooks, which is one of the alpha features in React at the moment. And with React hooks, we as programmers have the opportunity to avoid using class components and instead using functional components. And upon importing given hooks like useState and useEffect, with useState, we are able to create individualized state for each variable. And when creating the variable, we also create a setter function, which is created in a tuple, and it's passed in with its initial value. Along with the useState effect, I'm using a helper function called useInputValue. And given the initial value of a variable, it returns an object with the name that you provide for the variable. It returns the properties that are returned by the useState function, the useState hook, which are the value and set value functions. And it also provides us with an onChange method, which we are able to attach to the form's onChange property, so that via two-way data binding, whatever change is input into the form field is immediately set to the value of the variable. And the useEffect hook, I am using it to subscribe to changes in in certain data, or to use it as the onComponent did mount for regular React. So when using the useEffect hook, if we pass in an empty variable as the second parameter in the useEffect call, then that will act as onComponent did mount, because it's expecting nothing to change in this array, and this get data from API will only be called upon the initial render of the app component. In comparison to these other useEffects invocations, these are called every time the value of the delivered or the picked up filter changes. So these useEffect hooks are subscribing to the changes in the state for these properties, and when it detects a change, we will get a list of orders, or we will call this get list of orders with matching criteria. So my get list of order functions is basically what filters out the orders based on delivered or picked up criteria. So we could go on into my RESTful API that I created with RESTful endpoints, and as I mentioned, I'm using Mongoose and Mongo to get the data. And so I have a get endpoint for clients, which returns me all of the clients, and I have one for getting orders from and to a specific time period. So from a date plus an amount of weeks in advance. And I'm also able, via this patch endpoint, I'm able to set and update the status of the order, whether it's delivered or picked up. And I'm also able to get individual clients based on ID for when I want to get all of the orders for one specific client or make updates to a specific client. And this post endpoint allows me to post and add a new client to the database. And my orders post endpoint allows me to update the client with a new order. Down here, I'm using two of the Twilio APIs, the messaging and the lookup API. One is to text orders to clients and drivers about the respective information. And down here, this get request is to look up a phone number to validate if the client provided me with a valid US phone number, or if they just gave me a string or a series of 10 random numbers that aren't actually a phone number. So we could go on and look at the functions that are called when these endpoints are hit. And they're just Mongoose queries for most of these. And down here, these are Twilio related API calls, as I mentioned, to message the customer and the driver, and to look up a phone number, which basically returns true or false. So true meaning yes, it's a valid US phone number, and false for no, it's an erroneous series of 10 numbers. So there you go. Thank you for taking the time and watching my walkthrough. I look forward to incorporating more additional features, from two-step authentication for admins using Twilio Authy, and I look forward to adding autopilot. So my mom could finally get off the phone even when we're on vacation, and Twilio autopilot will allow customers to either text or call a phone number to make an order. And using this process, the orders will automatically be added to the database, and we will still be able to keep track of them. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to your feedback and making this app much better. All the best.